Basketball is my heart, it's my everything. I've been in love with this sport since I was 4 years old. I've been trying to be the best at it ever since then. January 23rd, 2019. I remember it like it was yesterday. The angle of my body, I'm facing directly in the direction of where my mom was sitting. I remember looking up at my mom and a few of my friends and looking at them and saying, like, it's over, like I'm not getting back up. Is this really happening? Am I really down and I'm not going to be able to get back up? The magnitude, the meaning of that. Now every time I put that jersey on and lace up them shoes and go out there, I understand the reason why I'm playing. And it's far bigger and far greater than I ever imagined. And I can never take that for granted, and I never will. Tough times don't last, tough people do. I've been a tough person since the day I was born. I'm gonna continue to persevere and get to where I wanna be and be one of the greatest to ever play. I'm just truly thankful that I can get back out there and play this game that I love. But I can't stop now. I am truly unbreakable. I'm back.
Do we really have to wait 40 more minutes? It has been over 1 year, exactly 82 regular season games. The Pacers have had to play without their leader. Victor Oladipo had the game he loves so dearly taken from him January 23rd, 2019. It has been a long and very difficult road back. To be clear, the rehab work is not over. This is just the next step, but a giant one at that. One that fans, players, broadcasters, everyone with the pulse in this great state has been eagerly anticipating. Love to see that smile as Victor Oladipo reports to Bankers Life Fieldhouse wearing that Kobe Bryant All-Star jersey. Tonight is the night. Victor Oladipo ready for action. How much? Who knows? How good? Those questions remain to be answered. All we know is number 4 will take the floor at some point in the first quarter. And when he does, you can expect the roof to fly off of Bankers Life Fieldhouse. I am Jeremiah Johnson. He is Eddie Gill, and you are watching Indiana Members Credit Union Pacers Live Pregame. We've been thinking about and talking about this moment really since the start of the regular season. Now that it is here, what are you looking forward to most?
JJ, the excitement, the anticipation, it has led up to this moment where Victor Oladipo will walk out onto that floor. And the one thing that I'm looking forward to most is just to see that happen. Him walk out there with a uniform on, not in street clothes, with his gallon jug of water, celebrating his teammates. He's going to go out there and play and participate with his teammates. Really want to see that first and foremost. And then obviously there's going to be a little bit of anxiety, nervous energy throughout. You know, not only Victor Oladipo, but I think throughout the entire team, because this anticipation has been there. But as the game wears on, I anticipate, you know, they'll carry on with basketball and business as usual.
Victor Oladipo off the injury report. Malcolm Brogdon has cleared concussion protocol. He will play. Miles Turner is out for the second game with illness. We always start the show previewing a few of the topics you can look forward to over the next 30 minutes. Tonight, there's basically one theme the entire show. Victor Oladipo. We'll start with a one-on-one sit-down interview. In segment 2, we'll hear from some of his teammates on their anticipation for his return. While we look forward to the next clutch moment, we'll look back on some memorable shots and winning times. So much feathery content for you tonight on Pacers Live Pregame. Time now for the Penske Promise. 3 things you need to know. You see Victor Oladipo's scoring average as a Pacer. Also over 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. No player in the NBA with those averages since the start of the 2017-18 season. Victor Oladipo was an All-Star each of the last 2 seasons. The 2020 reserves will be announced tomorrow. We are hoping and expecting good news for Domantas Sabonis. And bench buddy, Victor will begin this game as a reserve on a minutes restriction, around 24 minutes per game. More with Nate McMillan on the game plan a little bit later in the show. Let's take a look at the timeline to a comeback. Of course, January 23rd was the date. Toronto in town. Victor Oladipo goes down with a ruptured quad tendon. 5 days later, he had surgery. You saw the Together for Vic shirts on the seats at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. February 25th, he posts his first video training after the injury in South Florida. Then, positive moment in June in the summer, running for the first time after the injury. A step-by-step process, playing full court 5-on-5 action November 12th. And then tonight, January 29th, 2020, mark this date down in history as Victor Oladipo returns. When Victor Oladipo beat the San Antonio Spurs with a three-pointer in late October of 2017, he said, "Everything happens for a reason. I feel like I belong here in Indiana." It is a message that he has repeated multiple times during this rehab process. It's time now to hear more from Victor Oladipo as he sat down with our Pat Boylan.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Here in the St. Vincent Center, where Victor Oladipo has poured hours into his recovery and into his rehab, all motivated from that day, January 23rd, 2019. And as you will see here, it's a moment that inspires him and one that he still remembers very vividly.
January 23rd, 2019, I fall, obviously, tear my quad, and I kind of remember it like it was yesterday, honestly. And the things that were running through my mind, I think the biggest thing was like, is this really happening? It was tough. It was a tough moment for me, obviously, because I feel like I put in a lot of work, and I worked really hard to get to where I was at. And I felt like, my career was on the up, and my best days are ahead of me. So that day it was tough, but I embrace hard work. I've been working hard my whole life, so this was just a pause in the road, and I have even better days ahead of me. And this injury was a blessing in many ways, and I'm continuing to learn myself and other things throughout the process. So I'm just truly thankful that I can get back out there and play this game that I love, and I'll never take that for granted again.
After the initial shock subsides, what were the next 24 hours like?
I think the next 24 hours after everything subsided was just trying to figure out what to do next. I remember, going home, I didn't even sleep in the bed because it just felt like so much work to get from the couch to the bed. So I just slept on the couch that day. Then after that, it was just time to get to work. I believe I had surgery about 2 or 3 days later, and I was in the gym 3 days after that. I've been at work ever since.
What would you say is the hardest part of this injury, the rehab, everything you've gone through so far?
I think the hardest part of the rehab, the injury so far, would have to be the emotions for me. I'm a very emotional guy, I guess you would say. It was a tough emotional process for me, but I've grown emotionally because of it, especially mentally, obviously physically, but for the most part, man, I'm just looking forward to just going out there and playing the game I love again and sharing my emotion and my love for this game with the world.
You mentioned the city, the fans, Pacers fans. What has it been like to experience the support that you've gotten from them and to have them along with you throughout the ride and the anticipation that grows for the 29th?
It's unbelievable. This city has done so much for me. It doesn't go unnoticed. It doesn't go unnoticed what they do for me and how they treat me. Like, I'm truly thankful for that. I'm going to play as hard as I can for them every single night. And I'm going to show them how much I appreciate them in my play.
And as you can see there, it's a different Victor Oladipo perhaps than before his injury, really understanding the magnitude of what his return means to the city, to the franchise, and its fans. Back to you, JJ.
Thank you, Pat. Eddie, as you process those comments, let's assume by April he's back to the Victor of old. What is the ceiling for this team with Oladipo?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's obviously going to be an adjustment period We're looking at the next couple weeks of him coming off the bench. That's going to impact someone's rotation minutes that has been playing right now and contributing at a high level. That whoever that individual may be may not play as much. How does that impact them? He goes into the starting lineup, another adjustment period. So, as you mentioned, hopefully by the time they get to April, there's some cohesion there. But in terms of ceiling, I think it's unlimited in terms of what that potential really looks like for this team.
Just 3 games out of second where the Raptors sit, so you could say the ceiling may be the second seed, and the floor really could be the 6th because the Pacers have a big lead right now on the 7th place Orlando Magic. We are continuing to count you down to Victor Oladipo's return as we ramp up our pregame coverage. Eddie breaks down what Victor does best, and we'll check in with some of his teammates after the break on Fox Sports Indiana. Pacers Live pregame is brought to you by Indiana Members Credit Union. Better rates, exceptional service, and a proud sponsor of the Pacers for 10 years. By Xfinity. Experience fast break Wi-Fi with Xfinity, proud partner of the Indiana Pacers. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards for all your home improvement needs.
3, 2, 1.
There's a 3 by Oladipo. He hit it in for the lead. Indiana has the lead. A new career high for Victor Oladipo.
I'm ready.
Tonight starts the second of 3 seasons within the season for the Pacers. The acclimation process for Victor Oladipo. Not just how he returns physically and mentally, but how he fits in with his teammates. So, Eddie, we're going to take a look at some of the plays from last season, what Victor does best. How do you think he fits in with the current roster?
I think he fits in really well. This play here, this is where Victor Oladipo is elite. In transition, we've seen him do this even back in the days of IU. He is fantastic in open floor and finishing at the rim. There's 3 defenders ahead of him. All he focuses on that rim. Nice Euro step there, soft finish, and the foul. This is something that he's been fantastic in for quite some time.
Nate McMillan talks about executing early. That's as early as you can get.
There's no question. Get it early, out in open floor, and he's great there. Now, this is where we've seen the maturation of Victor Oladipo as he became a pro. Orlando, OKC, and now here, he's been fantastic. We know how great Sabonis is in the pick and roll situation. There's 4 defenders in front of him. Nice pocket pass to Sabonis. He's able to finish with the and one. Here we are again. He just reads the situation. He's coming off the pick and roll. Colin Sexton elects to go under this screen. Nice rhythm bounce. He gets to his spot. Nice pull-up shot. That is a layup for Victor Oladipo.
Very confident in the jump shot, but he also is well aware of a guy like Domas Sabonis rolling to the basket. So the Pacers are clearly a better team when Victor Oladipo played. You see some of the numbers in the rankings before the injury and since. So many new faces on the roster. We talked with some of them. Malcolm Brogdon one, and then a couple of his former teammates, Doug McDermott and Domantas Sabonis.
You know, I think there's a feel that I have to learn, but as far as strengths and weaknesses, man, I've studied him. As a point guard, as a guy that, looks forward to playing with an elite player like that, you got to study him, you got to learn him, you got to figure out where he likes the ball and how you can get him in his rhythm, because when he's at a high level, we're going to be an elite team.
This is the time of the year where sometimes teams can relax and take a step back. You'll get a jolt of energy that could help everyone.
Absolutely. I think that's what's going to surprise a lot of people, having him back on the floor, getting us, taking us to another level. I think he's a special player. He's going to make us more special.
Not concerned, but you guys have played such good team basketball, and, he's going to get some shots.
Yeah, I don't think it's a concern for selfishness or anything. We're all unselfish on this team. Obviously some roles might change because there's not enough minutes for everybody, so that will happen. But, that's part of the game. Coach talked to us. Everybody's ready for it, and we're just going to embrace it and try to become a better team.
It's going to be an adjustment for sure for both sides, but it's a positive. We're not looking as we're going to go down. We add an all-star to our unit. Whenever you do that, it's a good thing to your lineup. So we're excited. He's going to play loose and free. We're going to continue to play the way we've been playing, and it's going to take a little time to mesh, organically. But once we hit our stride, it's going to be pretty dangerous.
Do not go anywhere. We are talking with Nate McMillan in the next segment. Guessing Victor Oladipo might come up in our pregame conversation. You are watching Indiana Members Credit Union Pacers Live pregame. Pacers Live pregame is brought to you by Penn Station East Coast Subs, home of Slam Dunk Mondays, $3.99 cheesesteaks every Monday. And by Ascension St. Vincent, listening to you, caring for you. Nate McMillan's game plan is brought to you by Tom Roush. Game 48 for the Pacers has a different look and feel than many of the regular season games. Nate McMillan joins me now. A lot of hype surrounding Victor Oladipo's return. I wanted to ask you first, though, about the rehab process, the work that he has put in to get to this point, your interactions with him and what you've seen him do to get back.
He's put a lot of work in. I started watching him this summer, went to a couple workouts down in Miami, and just watched how hard he was training to get himself back to this point so that he could play today. And he's, done that really every single day. They had to force him to take some days off. He's been working extremely hard, really the last 2 months, playing 5-on-5 to get ready for this moment. So he's, really excited about this opportunity and getting back on the floor and playing with his teammates.
The plan is to come off the bench for the games up until the All-Star break and play about 24 minutes per game. What went into that decision?
Well, I talked with the trainers and the doctors and Victor and his people and Kevin Pritchard and Chad. We all discussed, how did we want to bring him back and what would be the best way. He's been off a year, so we didn't want to just put him out there and let him go. We want to take consideration that it's going to take some time for him to get back. So we decided that bringing him off the bench, playing no more than 24 minutes for these last 8 games until All-Star break. We'll take a look at him in this role. He won't play in back-to-back games. And then after All-Star break, we'll look at these 8 games and make a decision on his role moving forward.
Quick thought on this game. Chicago is playing better. They won 4 of 6. What are they doing differently that they weren't doing earlier?
Well, they forced turnovers. We have to do a good job of taking care of the ball tonight. They're first in fast break points, first in forcing turnovers, 17 a game, and they're first in converting those turnovers into points. So we have to do a good job of taking care of the ball tonight, keep this team in front. We got to get pressure on the ball. We know that they can shoot the 3 ball, so we have to challenge every catch and pressure the ball.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
All right, now let's go courtside to Chris Denari and Quinn Buckner.
Thanks, JJ. The opponent is the Bulls, but people are standing here in the lower level watching Victor Oladipo. The night is finally here. What are our expectations for number 4?
Well, first of all, I don't think the people care who the Pacers are playing. Victor's on the floor, and you've got to be happy about having him on the floor. Now, you've heard Coach say they'll minimize what he'll be able to do, but his ability to create some plays, that's really what you know about Oladipo. He's been making the jump shot a little bit better. I think that helps. But getting active is what Victor does, and I think it'll really help this team find opportunities to get out in the break. They wanted to get more athletic, and you really get a nice present here. At the trade deadline, you get Victor Oladipo. Not bad.
JJ mentioned at the top of the show, it's been a full NBA season, 82 games since Victor Oladipo last played on January 23rd. Quite a night here. You can feel it here on the Fieldhouse floor.
Thank you, Chris and Quinn. We'll let you take one quick break, relax, get ready for what should be a spectacular game broadcast. So Nate mentioned 24 minutes. He'll come off the bench, likely playing with guys like Doug McDermott, maybe Justin Holiday, but also Domas Sabonis. McDermott, Sabonis, he's played with before.
You're absolutely right. Talking about 2 guys who last year really developed a nice rhythm with, really comfortable with obviously Domantas Sabonis in that pick and roll situation, dribble handoff situation. Victor Oladipo does a fantastic job of getting in the paint, and that's great for when you have a guy like Doug McDermott to stretch the offense. So if that guy decides to help off, there's a shot that's going in because Doug McDermott is right now an absolute flamethrower. So you have another playmaker out there on the floor.
Just under 15 minutes until tip-off. Let's hear from Victor Oladipo showing appreciation for all those who helped him during the rehab process.
I think the biggest thing I want to say is that I don't know. I think I just want to say thank you, honestly. Thank you to everyone, everyone who's helped me through this process, because I know it was tough on them just as much as it was tough on me. There's certain people, and they know who they are, that have been there since day one. And there's certain people who just came in but have been working their butt off like they've been there since day one, and I just want to thank them. And I want to thank my God in heaven. At the end of the day, I wouldn't be here without him. And I'm going to continue to persevere and get to where I want to be and be one of the greatest to ever play because of him. So I want to thank my God, the people I love, my family, this city, my teammates, my coaching staff, the people behind the scenes that you might not see, like, that I've been working and building up to this point and making everything comfortable for me and trying to make everything easy for me. So I want to say thank you to you guys, and I'm going to show you how much I appreciate what you guys have done by the way I go out there and play.
Time for tonight's On the Board report presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. The Pacers are a 9-point favorite. You see the total, the over-under of this game is set at 214.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook. My thanks to Eddie Gill, also Pat Boylan. We thank you for tuning in to the Victor Oladipo Show, otherwise known as Pacers Live pregame. As we leave, you want to take a look back at some of Victor's game winners in an Indiana Pacers uniform. Sit back, relax, and enjoy Pacers basketball on Fox Sports Indiana.
Here's a three by Oladipo. Oh, he hit it, and the Pacers have a 1-point lead. Here's Oladipo for the lead. Indiana has the lead. With 5 seconds, here's Oladipo, 3 seconds.
Race up.
A three to win it. Oladipo to win it.
Another one.